This video is an unscripted look at some of the software tools we can use to create comics in school. I'm going to start off with free applications, and a comic apart from your script and story, which I talk about in the blog post, needs images. And considering you might have a classroom full of students with the only place being the class, an assembly area, the schoolyard, or maybe if they're at home, their own yard, it's going to be difficult to get a picture like this. Now, this is the raw picture where I've actually downloaded Photoshop Camera, free app, and I've downloaded one of the lenses which gives us this Jupiter stormy, cloudy, science fiction style backdrop. It basically replaces the sky. And yes, I had a kind of a scarf thing. I was looking for a desert theme or a desert approach, so I'm kind of trying to dress up like a Bedouin here. But I've taken this photograph in my front yard, and there's the gate and so forth, so it doesn't really look too desert-like. I've emailed it to myself, and then what I've done is I've jumped into Adobe Express. But before I did that, I went to Firefly. So Firefly, both of these tools are free, and you can go to firefly.adobe.com and you can generate or paint in certain elements. So what I did was I painted in this particular instance, camels with a sandy desert to kind of indicate kind of an oasis. I've got an owl up in the corner here, so I've got some trees, I've got that noir look. That's one style. The other one, what I did was I actually removed the background, so basically that ended up just leaving the camels and myself, and then this particular oasis picture came from Adobe Stock, where I could just type in oasis, and out of the hundreds of thousands that appear, I selected one and pasted that into the background. On the right hand side, you can see that the stock art is dragged underneath the picture of myself with the camels. I can then download those as a JPEG or a PNG, and then they become artwork that I can import into different tools. So that the tools that we can use to create comics, at its simplest level, we've got PowerPoint. So in our PowerPoint template, what we've got here, and this template is available for you to download, the links in the blog post, but you can also go to File, New, and Office, search for online templates, type in comic, and it will pop up for you to download. So this particular template has some clip art that you can copy and then go to the actual comic that you're working on, where you can paste that in, Control D, duplicate. You can move the tail of the speech bubble around. This picture here, which of course is a very silly picture, if I can remove the background in Adobe Express, but in PowerPoint itself, you can remove the background by marking areas to keep and marking areas to remove. And as you paint the areas out that you want to remove, they end up taking on this purple color. And you can see here that I've got my cutout, which I can put inside the frame. So I could, if I want to, then get another picture and put that into the background. So I could then insert a picture, one that I prepared earlier. Maybe this picture, but I'll use it in a slightly different way. What I'll do is click on it, and in this case just crop myself out, and eventually we'll be able to send it backward. And here I am. I might want to make myself a wee bit smaller. Got my my oasis here. Now one of the other things you can do is, rather than have these frames around the outside, you might want to opt to put a border around your pictures and keep that consistent. I've done that here, and then if you wanted to, you could have a background color that looks slightly different. And you can see here I can move that picture around, line it up with the edge, Control D to duplicate. So this is free. You can just keep duplicating pages and either using tools like Photoshop Camera or take pictures anyway that you like and get them up digitally, and you can take the background out in PowerPoint itself, or you can also use Adobe Express, which is free. And we're just going to jump across to Adobe Express now. So here's an example in Adobe Express where I have brought the image in, taken out the background, and put some Adobe stock in here. If I go back to my collection of files that I've got within Adobe Express, I can actually see that I can create a comic. So this is loading up on the screen, and what it uses is grids within a page. You can set the size of the page to be whatever you like, and I have created a number of pages with some template or clip art in there that we can use. So I can actually copy this and just simply Control C to copy, go back to my slide and paste that in, resize it, click inside, change the text. Once I've selected that, I can move that around if I like. When I want to create something new, or a new page for my comic, I can simply click on Add. I could duplicate my page, but I'll just do one that's the same size to show you how we can create a comic page from scratch. So this particular page size I've set to just American size, 8.5 inches by 11. You can see I've got all these sizes here. I could change it to anything else. Pixels, centimeters. So 21.59 by 27 if I wanted it. And I could just resize this paper. So now I've got an A4 sheet of paper. I can then add grids onto that page. And depending on whether your pictures are portrait or landscape, that will determine roughly what grid you'll select. Once you've selected your grid and dragged it onto the screen, I might just use this one. You'll notice that it's not going to fit perfectly, but we can actually size it out, pull it out, get it to fill our entire page. and then start dropping pictures in, and if we need to resize them we can. So I click on the picture, I click up here on the left, I can upload from device. That kind of fits. Again, if I want to, I can jump forward to getting a speech bubble, Control C, jump back, Control V, resize that, change the words, which I won't do in this particular instance. But I just wanted to point out that you can, in fact, if you wanted to lower the opacity so you can kind of see what's underneath, you can use that as a technique if you have text that's blocking part of your picture, but you need to get that text onto the screen somehow. So you can see up the top here, I've called this a comic template in Express for each page. I could set the page title, so this could be could be the name of the comic. Desert Musings 1, then I could create another page, Desert Musings 2. So you go through with each of these cells and change the picture, and we could choose to simply select from the thousands, maybe millions of photographs that you've got available. There are 500,000 here, 560,000 for fountains. Okay, we'll take that. We can add speech bubbles, we can add text boxes, I like that, and build our cartoon story. So this is Adobe Express. When we are done and our file is prepared, we can download all of the pages as individual JPEGs, or we can download them as a PDF, and that's what I would recommend. If you're creating a comic book story using Adobe Express with pages, I would export that as a PDF, and there's a reason for that, and I'll get onto that later on. And that's the same with your PowerPoint slides. So if you have PowerPoint slides using the comic template, export that as a PDF as well. Don't forget that you can resize the PowerPoint to not be your typical landscape presentation slide. You can change it so it does look portrait like this, and portrait style comics are a little bit better for mobile devices because people will look at the portrait pictures sliding up through the comic. So what we can do is in Firefly, if we want to add generative fill, we can take a picture that we've taken in the schoolyard, maybe something like our cat, and then we can, what I'll do is just make that brush bigger. So we want to generate witches and goblins in a scary forest. Interesting. Okay, I'll take that one and I'll just download that. I should have given it a meaningful name. Apologies for that. So if you're creating a story, it's probably a good idea to be naming the images related to the name of the story and the page that they may be going on, or something that you can use to keep track of them. In this particular case, I've got a picture that's another portrait, so I'm just deleting that cell out of the grid and I'm just dragging this one down. And what I'm now going to do is click out, click in, look for my picture. There it is, open. It's got most of the picture in there. I could resize that a little bit and then add speech bubbles or text boxes and things like that. So this is another way you can, or another tool that you can use to create comics. Remember, export as a PDF. If you want to see all of your images, just click on the pages there, and you can see that I've got my first page, which has got some cartoon elements, a second page there, and then my clip art and assets and so forth. When I export this, if I save this particular file as a different name, I can delete these last two pages and then just be left with the comic that I want. So that's it for this video, and in the next video we'll have a look at another app, probably the main app, which is Comic Life. That is a paid app, unfortunately, but it offers you much more power in creating your comics. So we'll see you in the next video.